Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're tackling a super fun and easy drone model. Whether you're new to 3D modeling or looking for a new challenge, this one's for you. Let's jump right in and create something awesome together. Let's start by adding a UV sphere. In the pop-up menu, set the segments to 18 and the rings to 12. Next, rotate the UV sphere along the Y-axis. Switch to face mode, select half of the faces and delete them. Then switch to edge mode, select these edges, go to side view and scale them to 0 on the Y-axis. Now go to the modifiers tab and add a mirror modifier. Set the axis to Y and switch to edit mode. Press A to select everything, then move it slightly backwards along the Y-axis. Don't forget to enable clipping on the mirror modifier. Switch to face mode, select these faces and delete them. Then go to edge mode, select the edges, switch to side view and extrude them inward by pressing E to extrude and S to scale. Next, extrude the edges again along the X-axis and then right-click, go to Loop Tools and choose Circle. Now, add some supporting edge loops by pressing Ctrl R and placing them where needed. Add an edge loop here and bevel it by pressing Ctrl B. Then switch to face mode, press Alt E and choose Extrude Faces along normals. Finally, move the faces in a bit. Add a subdivision surface modifier, set the viewport levels to 2, then right-click and select Shade Smooth. Go back to face mode, select these faces and extrude them out. Then press I to inset the faces. If they break up, double-tap I or enable the boundary checkbox in the pop-up menu. Select these two faces, inset them, and add a loop cut in the middle. Then right-click, go to Loop Tools, and choose Circle. Now go to the back, switch to face mode, and select these faces to delete them. Then go to edge mode, select these edges, and extrude them inwards a bit. Press E to extrude and S to scale it down. When done, press F to fill the remaining faces. Next, select these faces and extrude them inwards. Go to the side view and select these faces. Inset them, then go to Loop Tools and choose Circle. Press Shift D to duplicate the faces, move them along the Y-axis, then press P and choose Selection to separate them from the drone. After that, press H to hide them. Select the faces back again from the drone body, inset them a bit, and extrude inwards. Finally, press S, Y, and numpad 0 to make the faces flat. Now add an edge loop in the middle. Select the center vertex, press Ctrl B and V to bevel it. Add a loop cut in the middle, then select the vertices like this and press J to join them. After that, select the faces again, right-click, go to Loop Tools, and choose Circle. Press Shift D to duplicate the faces, then hide them like we did before. Select the faces again and extrude them inwards. Press Alt H to unhide the other ones. Now select the small object, go to face mode, and extrude it along the Y-axis. Inset the faces and extrude them inwards. Press Shift D to duplicate another face, then separate it like we did before. After that, add some supporting edge loops. Go to Edit mode, press A to select all the object's faces and move them inside the drone. Make sure you're still in Edit mode. Select this part, go to Face mode, and extrude it out. Add some edge loops, then select these two faces, duplicate them, and separate them. Now, select the separated object, go to Face mode, and extrude it outwards. Move it down slightly and scale it to 0 on the Y-axis. Finally, add some loop cuts. Select this face and inset it, then use the knife tool to add a loop cut in the middle and turn the faces into a circle. Press Alt-H to unhide the last object, select both objects, and go to Face mode. Move the small object close to the big one, then scale down the big object's faces to match the size of the small object. As you can see, there's an issue with the mirror modifier. To fix this, apply the modifier and delete the part that isn't working well. We'll add a new mirror modifier once this section is complete. Select the big object's faces again, press X and delete them. Then select the other object and extrude it outwards. Hide the other object, select these faces, and delete them. Select both objects and join them with Ctrl-J. Switch to Edge mode, go to the Edge tab, and use Bridge Edge Loops to connect them. Switch to Face mode, add a loop cut here, then select these two faces and inset them. To keep both sides even, delete this face and duplicate the other one over. After duplicating the face, adjust them to match this look. Then switch to Vertex mode, select these vertices, press M and choose Merge at Center. When done, select both faces, right-click, go to Loop Tools, and choose Circle. Extrude them inwards, duplicate the faces, and move them outwards. Now, select the duplicated faces, extrude them outwards, inset the faces, and duplicate them. Add some loop cuts. I'm sure you've got the hang of it. Just repeat this process for the next part. Now move them back along the x-axis and separate the two objects. Switch to Object mode, go to the Object tab, then set the origin to Geometry for both objects. Next, go to the top menu, choose individual origins, and scale them to match the whole. Repeat this for the next one. Select all the objects and combine them so we can mirror them over to the other side. Select the main drone body and switch to face mode. Select this face, press Ctrl+ to grow the face selection, then move it inwards along the Y-axis. The mirror object isn't well placed, so go back to the mirror modifier. Use the eyedropper tool and choose the main drone body as the target. Add a circle, set the vertices to 24, scale it up, and rotate it on the X-axis. Select half of it and delete them. Then, adjust the shape like this. Press E to extrude the vertices along the Y-axis. Select all the vertices again and move them back a bit on the Y-axis. Then, go to the Modifier tab, add a Solidify modifier, and increase the thickness value to 0.12. Now, apply the Solidify modifier and add some loop cuts to it. Now add another circle, set the vertices to 8, scale it down, and move it up. Extrude the vertices upward, then press F to fill the faces. Select these two objects and combine them. Now select these edges and bevel them. Switch to face mode and delete these faces. Go to edge mode and bridge these edges. After that, add some loop cuts. Finally, go to the Modifier tab and add a Subdivision Surface modifier. Go to the side view, switch to wireframe mode, and select these faces to delete them. Now select the main drone body and choose these back faces. Inset them and scale them in on the Y-axis. After that, extrude the face out. I made a small error when bridging these two objects. This is what I should have done. Don't follow along with this part just yet, as I'll show you the method I thought would work well. However, I didn't test it beforehand, so I'll walk you through the correct approach in a moment. Now apply the mirror modifier on the main drone body. Here's what I should have done. Instead of adding loop cuts to the other object to match this one, the better approach would have been to select the edges on the smaller object and dissolve them before bridging the two objects together. Go to Object Mode, add a circle, and set the vertices to 16 in the pop-up menu. Move it up, switch to Edit Mode, and extrude it down. Then go back to Object Mode and move the circle forward along the X-axis so it moves with its pivot point. Now add a Solidify modifier and increase the thickness value to 0.1. Then add some loop cuts. After that, apply the Solidify modifier and add a Subdivision Surface modifier, setting the viewport levels to 2. Add another circle, set the vertices to 8, move it up, and scale it down. Extrude the vertices upward. Press F to fill the faces, then inset them to match the other one. After insetting these faces, go to the Edge tab and choose Bridge Edge Loops. Select these two objects and combine them. Then add loop cuts to the small circle. Now, select the faces that are facing each other and bridge them. Now select the face and delete it. Then switch to vertex mode, right-click again, go to Loop Tools and choose Circle. Press F to fill the faces and extrude it upward. Refine the object like this. Now add a cylinder, set the vertices to 8, move it up, and scale it down like this. When done scaling it down, go to face mode and select these outer faces. Inset them like this, then extrude them out and scale them up on the Z-axis. After that, add a subdivision surface modifier, set the viewport levels to 2, and add a simple deform modifier. Set the axis to X and adjust the values if needed. When finished, add some supporting loop cuts. Guys, if you've made it this far, I truly appreciate it. I'm sorry I won't be explaining how I made the drone material and lighting, but I promise it's not that complicated. I only use basic materials. Also, if you want to see how I made the fan animation you saw in the beginning of the video, stick around to the end. So this is how I made the fan animation. First, select the fan, then press I on your keyboard. Once the pop-up menu appears, go to the item menu. In the Z rotation field, type hashtag frame 0.5 or hashtag frame 3 depending on the speed you want. After that, press spacebar to see the animation. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see how to rig and animate the drone, drop a comment below. We're aiming for 500 likes on part 1 to make it happen, so smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay tuned. See you in the next one.